Electrica is a squeamish young woman with confidence issues as she's the eldest daughter of an elite hero family called Lightning Branch. Her younger siblings have made greater achievements than her, such as raising their own families. Embarrassed at her failures, Electrica secretly hurt herself and covered her arms to hide the shame. Despite her lack of ability, her parents and siblings loved her still. However, the chaotic Dread Day separated Electrica from her family to whereabouts unknown. Forced to improve herself, Electrica pushes through villainous adversity to make herself worthy of her family's pedigree. By meeting the Valkyrie, she's become braver, yet reckless in her pursuit for success. Despite being easily intimidated, Electrica won't abandon those in need of help, for she empathizes with those who are afraid. Electrica's purpose in the story is more of self-discovery and gradual growth. She's also a foil to the other Valkyries, for she's a tad cowardly. In other material, this type of character wouldn't be formidable, but I thought it would work if she had deadly powers, but contrasted with a timid personality. I'm aware that she needs to be written carefully, otherwise she'll end up being frustratingly annoying. Unlike most electric characters in media, I went for the color green and super speed. She moves like a hack and slash character who cuts with the edges of her sleeve, combined with lightning bolts. She looks up to the other Valkyries and wants to be worthy of their friendship. Honestly, she's probably the deadliest character on the team, but she has to break her walls. When I made this sketch, I'm surprised no one told me how bad these hips are. The legs are way too far apart from the pelvis. What I ended up with is so much better. I struggled with her face a lot, and symmetry is not my friend. I was very frustrated trying to make these high heels match. I hated drawing lightning bolts because I couldn't get the shape right. The bolts were a tad excessive with the decoration, so I reduced the number. Even then, the ones that remained are still not perfect. The most vital ones to me were the long sleeves and the heels. I just realized there's a hidden lightning bolt right by her knee. I didn't draw that on purpose. Although the left one came out better than the right. Ugh. As for her face, I wanted to keep her hair down. That way in later scenes her hair will rise up via electricity, but it was hard to draw her face with that hairdo. It made her look emo, and that's not the direction I wanted to go. Of the 6 Valkyries, Electrica is by far the girliest, so she's very susceptible to cliches and some stereotypes, thereby making her more expressive. This way she can contrast the toughful manly Valkyries. In a neutral state, I imagine Electrica being a bit cheerful, and then her reactions would turn into disgust and fear. That won't work if her face looked like this all of the time. You can't even see her face all that much, so I picked up the hair, gave her a hairband, and a very big smile. I even shaded her teeth. You know, maybe Electrica should have lightning bolt earrings? Maybe? I don't want to draw any more lightning bolts, not until later. I hate symmetry. It wasn't easy getting a passable hourglass waist, but I like the way she turned out. I used the same lighting techniques from Valerie, and Electrica looks good. I didn't expect to make her so muscular. Of the 6, she should be reliant on electricity and speed. Electrica having curved legs is a given. It makes sense for an agile character. For some reason, I had this urge to draw muscles. Again, I was just going to give her nice deltoids, but I ended up drawing biceps too. I'm very impressed with the chest and ab area because this corset slash mini dress looks very solid. I feel I have to thank Joel Schumacher because this is exactly what he was going for when designing the body armor for Batman and Robin. I'll elaborate a bit more on musculature after the final character. Sukebancho is the most Japanese-influenced character as her name is a combination of the delinquent words Sukeban and Bancho. Despite her mature feminine appearance, Sukebancho has a youthful tomboy demeanor. She's very confident, competitive, energetic, and her sense of heroic duty rivals that of Supremas. Her positive attitude towards justice comes from her jolly yet encouraging grandpa, and her hard-as-nails mom. Her mom, Tsunami, was a former Sukeban who became a stern but honest super cop. Sukebancho's rival, aka her older brother, taught her how to fight, and she plays games with her little brother. With her life experience surrounded by a loving family, Sukebancho developed maternal instincts for people, whether they're children or adults. Unlike most superheroes, Sukebancho never really had a problem with killing villains. She sees it as a black and white approach or in the same vein as a fictional action hero. Despite that trait, Sukebancho follows a creed of morals and is willing to be merciful. She's not a bloodthirsty person, but trusts her judgment when to kill or not to. After the terrifying events of Dread Day, Sukebancho has experienced sorrow, rage, and hatred for the first time in her life. While she keeps Suprema's violent cravings in check, Sukebancho must also be observant of herself, as her path of righteousness may be polluted by detestation. In a post-apocalyptic world dominated by power villains, it's difficult not to be absorbed by the torrent called rage. When I initially showed these early character designs, Sukebancho was very rough around the edges, but Sukebancho was the unexpected winner since she resonated with a lot of people. So much in fact that her name wasn't going to be Sukebancho, it was going to be Tsunami the Sukebancho, but now it's just the Sukebancho, and Tsunami belongs to her mom. I haven't thought about the manly dad yet. For some reason my head is thinking KIA war hero. Sukebancho is my favorite of the bunch, and I know how to write her. She's gonna be best buds with Suprema, she's gonna hate how girly Electrica is, she's gonna butt heads with the Silencer, she's gonna warm up to the Suppressor, and she's probably gonna be competitive with Valerie. She's gonna be campy, but super uplifting. Once again, symmetry was my folly. Never draw characters standing up straight, keep them tilted. But drawing faces from the front is important, otherwise you're gonna end up with stuff like this where it looks weird. Honestly, the Bancho jacket was the hardest to draw, mainly around the torso. It'll look better from the side or at an angle, but straight in front? No, not really. Another twist was her size. When I started compiling these drawings for a height comparison, she came out so big. I once had a conversation with Mr. Falcon Punch about their height. He's actually a tall dude in the 6 foot something, but even he was telling me these girls look like they're 7 feet tall. So I ended up making the Sukebancho even bigger. So now I'm wondering if Sukebancho is the size of Akira Kongo, or is she bigger? My head just can't wrap around it. It makes sense for a womanly character to stick out like that. I just didn't arrange this, but I'll take it. The design is already so crazy, so when I make her really big, she might be the size of an Amazonian.
Here's the plan. What kind of moronic plan is that? Wow.
This segment now switches gears to talk about the things in anime that I like, being manliness. Only for this video, it'll be about womanliness. The problem with clothes is it hides the muscles. That's mainly the reason why men end up going shirtless in some scenes to show it off. Joel Schumacher's idea was to have the clothes emphasize the musculature, and that's what I've done.
The bodies for the suits, the inspiration from them are Greek statues that have perfect bodies. They're anatomically erotic. It never occurred to me not to put nipples on the men's suits.
For the longest time, I wanted to create a womanly version of Sakigake Otokujuku. These Valkyries aren't exactly that, but this was the perfect place to draw some form of brawniness. What better way than to draw women with curved legs and pronounced abs?
You know, in comic books, they draw very beautiful, anatomically perfect people in very alluring costumes, and we owe that to the audience. And glorifying beauty and sexuality.
The way I draw, they aren't anatomically correct. There's a lot of angular lines and pointy edges, but that's part of the fun. Many things that inspire me all have something that's them. I want something I can call my own. I mentioned this in previous videos, but I really hate the look of modern cartoons. Whether it's a kid's cartoon, an adult cartoon, or a big budget movie, I'm tired of these soft and lanky designs. I'm sure younger audiences today will find older cartoons ugly, and I know there's new pretty stuff out there and things that cater to my interests. I just want to create something that looks different. That's why I put a lot of emphasis of sharp angles, which are a bit tedious to draw to get the right point. I'm flattered by comments complimenting and recognizing my rough form, but this is what I wanted to show you since the beginning. This is what goes on in my head. There's many characters I still want to draw. The biggest inspiration for me was Fist of the North Star, and I wanted to make a dramatic story like that. These 6 heroes aren't the entire roster, and I have plans for other characters in different series. I want to make a comic/video series. I'm still figuring that out. I would like an animated representation. That would be the dream. After playing so much Shredder's Revenge, my mentality is that of a beat-em-up games. I need to come up with locations and a flow to the story, because I want to invent a new type of demographic or genre. It's like an 80s battle shonen, but has the structure of a beat-em-up game. If this was an American show, it would either be an animated series or an animated beat-em-up. Wish me luck. I hope to show something concrete by next year. My name is Alex, and thank you for watching my channel, The Anime Hero, and thank you to the patrons for supporting me. See you next time.